I put flatwounds on a Dingwall. So you might think this is a weird move, given Dingwall's reputation for bright, low-tuned, spanky metal machines. But this bass is different. This bass, instead of fanning out for a long scale, it fans in for medium scale. So we have a 34.25-inch E and a 32-inch G. And what that does is, instead of tightening the lows, it warms up the highs. So the other spectrum of bass tones, right? More of an old school thing. James Jamerson, Duck Dunn, Chuck Rainey, Pino Palladino, Sean Hurley, Michael League, they're all using like a P bass with flats and getting that nice earthy low mid punch that I personally love. I think a lot of you guys do too. So what Dingwall's done is they've taken that idea of a vintage P bass that's like a little more rolled off in the high end, warmer, and they've supercharged it with modern technology, being fan frets, multi-scale. So what we have is like that vintage idea that's been pushed even further, right? So this bass sounds incredible with the tone all the way up, because the high end gets warmed naturally, right, at the source. And then with the tone off, this bass didn't come with flats, it came with Dingwall medium scale nickel rounds, which sounded awesome. Super bright, very much like a rock P, like reminiscent of like Blink-182 and Rise Against. Like, I love those tones. But I thought, since it was leaning towards that rounder vibe, putting flats on it would be cool. These aren't the first flats I had on it. These are LaBella low tensions, which I settled on, and I think they're the right choice. I would like to see a specific SP1 scale length made. At first I had, had the Dingwall rounds on it, and then I put LaBella deep talkin' flats, which I thought sounded cool, but having a more taut string doesn't lend itself super well to this bass, because like the way the neck is built and the way the body is a bit thinner for the weight, this bass is not one that wants to be fought, if that makes sense. Like, having high tension strings and like really tugging at them doesn't suit the neck carve. It feels a little bit quicker than a standard P. I don't want to fight a bass that doesn't want to be fought. This bass, it gives you what you want. So lighter gauge strings just feel right. And if you have to, I mean, because of this medium scale, you can kind of bend. I'm not going to risk breaking a string. I like my flats old, and I want them to stay alive. So another thing that's really cool about this bass is it's got like a built-in wild card. By wild card, what I mean is, like, when you're going to the studio, you know, you bring your P, you bring your J, you know, something around something with flats, and then you bring something weird, you know, maybe like a plastic bass or a semi-hollow, something interesting. What this bass has is 4 pickup selections. So you got 2 pickups, you got the P style, then you got the PJ in series, PJ in parallel, and then the J. Let's go through them. Play the same bass line for all 4. It's not going to be stylistically appropriate for all of them, but we'll manage. game of broken telephone. The further I go, the less I remember how the bass line goes. So, take you through the bridge pickup real quick. With the tone all the way down, it's like a little reminiscent of a Hofner. Kind of. I don't know. You tell me. Very narrow kind of thing happening. I'm going to skip over to the 2 pickups in series because it's just loud. It's like if you need to sound active, it's like a really good way to just go from this to this. I think that works pretty well. The nice wild card thing this bass has is second position, so the 2 pickups in parallel. It's really interesting because I've thought about this quite a bit and I've listened to it a lot, especially on my 5-string with rounds. These 2 pickups, so specifically when you're playing on the E and the A string, it's a little reminiscent of like a jazz bass with flats. If we get this like I am playing a rubber pick, so that's going to lend itself to that flat sound. But then over here, you get to the D and G strings when they're really close together. The pickups, rather. And to me, it makes me think of like a Joe Dart Stingray, especially with the flat ones on it. So you get this cool wildcard thing happening. If you're playing funk with flats, cool big low end with that scooped thing happening in the bottom, and then this like crisp, really crisp. Like tight high end if I slap a little like. So, you know, it's really not what Dingwall is known for. I understand that people have their reservations against something like this coming out of Dingwall, but it's like, listen, Dingwall makes multi-scale instruments, and I think this covers a lot of bases. Haha. If they're doing extra long scale for rock and metal, I mean, even Leland Sklar is doing it, for just to get like a really clear, tight low B and like that low C, that first fret on an NG or a Combustion or like any of the Canadian models, sounds awesome. But these high notes, these lyrical, beautiful lyrical high notes, they're just, that's where it's at for me. Like, and so I'm not a connoisseur of vintage basses, but I love the idea and the sound of a vintage bass. And this is a really nice way to get there in a super modern platform. So if you were wondering just what the hype was with these basses, I think for me that's what it is like just pushing that vintage sound really far. It's not a perfect instrument, but does a hell of a good job. So try one out. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if anyone else has put flats on one of these. I haven't seen it happen, but like I think people should be trying it. Get 2, one with rounds, one with flats. My other one's a 5-string. It's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you, Sheldon, for bringing this to life. I think it's awesome. Cool.